majority of dealers, like the kind of dealers that have social media, maybe they're young, will be watching this and comment. And I get this all the time. I'm a dealer and I definitely have never cheated. Yeah, we know, because they knew that you weren't capable of it.
Yeah.
So they wanted to make sure you're in the 94% of dealers that have no idea that you're being used as a pawn.
Yeah, you're making $30 an hour.
Yeah.
Nobody needs you.
Yeah, exactly. They don't need you to cheat. You're not the one, buddy. Right? So what was your original question? Oh, how high up they are. Yeah. Okay. So those guys, the 94% of dealers, have zero knowledge, right? Zero pressure, zero understanding. They just think a guy's losing or a guy's winning, and they don't know the difference. They're like, I hope this guy wins, because if he wins, he's going to tip me. And the dealer probably truly thinks that and believes that. And they don't know anything else. Makes perfect sense.
Right.
So then there'll be, let's call it a first pit boss, right? And that first pit boss knows very, very little, except when a particular special player is there, that they need to keep an eye on him and make sure he doesn't do any funny business, right? That pit boss is thinking, sometimes he wins big, sometimes he loses big. People have sleight of hand. Let me just keep an eye, right? Then there's a pit boss above that. And that pit boss was told, keep an eye on this pit boss and make sure that player stays at that table as long as possible. Now, they don't know why they want that player there. They're thinking standard. Oh, the longer they play, the longer they lose, the more they lose. Let's get them drunk. What they really need is some time to implement certain cheats created for that exact player. But that pit boss doesn't know that. That pit boss thinks my job is to keep the player here. Give them comps, make sure there's a waitress always here, make sure the food is coming fast enough. I was told, keep the player at the table. I'm going to keep him at the table.
Right.
You don't know why.
And this guy, this second pit boss, he's the one actually looking at the cameras now?
No, he'll be on the floor also.
Okay, so these guys are still on the floor. Who's above that second pit boss?
So then there comes another pit boss, right? And that next pit boss might be involved with the surveillance room. And from the surveillance room, they're keeping an eye on that player and maybe the player's entourage. What are they doing? Where are they going? How can we manipulate? How do we manipulate the whole group? How do we keep them long enough to implement a cheat we're trying to do? Are they catching on to one of the cheats? Have they, without even being conscious of it, figured out a way around the cheat? Because sometimes it's obvious. Sometimes there's very simple things they do that if you don't catch it, it'll take all your money. But if you catch it by pure, you just saw it, like you didn't think nothing of it, you make a slight adjustment in the way you play. They go, okay, they figured that one out. Time for the next one. Call upstairs. And they call the next guy.
Who is?
It'd be like a lower ranking executive, for example. You know? No, I'm not like sitting in the room next to these guys as they're doing this.
I realize that, but I'm trying to put together this conspiracy, like who's benefiting.
This is what I would,
what I mean?
When I picture in my imagination this chain of communication, I'm picturing 10 people from the very top down to the dealer, 10 in total. And it's in my imagination. I don't know if it's really 10. Could be 100, could be 5. I don't know.
Okay.
But it starts at a dealer who doesn't know anything and they're being used as a tool. Then it goes to a pit boss who hardly knows anything, also a tool. Then a slightly higher pit boss, doesn't really know that much, also being used as a tool. Then it goes to surveillance. They know half.
Right.
Then it goes to a guy above them, knows 80%. So it gets to a guy who's at the top making all of the decisions and putting all these other 9 people in place to perfectly craft a position for the players to lose.
So what you're saying is it is very likely that casino executives or general managers, people who are responsible for the Wynn or the Rio or the Tropicana, are actually implementing and have a mandate to cheat their customers.
Without a doubt.
There you have it, folks. Right from the horse's mouth. So what you're doing now is you're saying them, you're identifying that cheat and fighting fire with fire, cheating back.
Yeah. And
it's working.
I mean, I got a few tens of millions that said it worked.
Now, here's the thing. Let's a lot of people, and rightly so, perhaps, in the comments, if you give a about the comments, people will say this is cap. This is.
Yeah, sure.
One of the questions I had, I just want to put it to bed right now. You're not the scion, the heir of actual casino owners, are you?
No. Okay.
You saw that rumor floating around the internet?
So listen to this story. Let me tell you how the rumor got started. So stupid. My whole family forever is high stakes degenerate gamblers.
I believe that.
I have a great uncle who one time in a card game won a piece of a casino in a country. I have no idea what country. And within, I don't know the timeline. I'm going to make this up. The rumor in my family is a couple of months. He then in another card game lost ownership of that casino. It was not like my family doesn't own casinos.
So
Like that's not.
your dad isn't Sheldon, son of Mr. Wynn.
No, I'm just
Okay.
Steve Wynn. No.
Steve
no,
Wynn.
No. I'm just some guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is not Cap.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
you got to think we've had so many casino executives, surveillance people. I've exposed my tax records. I've exposed all my win-loss statements multiple times live on the air. All of it's on the internet. You can just like look it up. Like,
and you do post pictures with millions of dollars in cash.
Yeah.
It's coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I mean, casinos have came forward. I mean, it's not a secret. I won in casinos. It's not a secret.
have you ever had FBI approach you? Have you ever had IRS try to take you down?
As a matter of fact, my taxes are the simplest taxes I've ever done in my life now when I was gambling, and they've been in my whole life. And I've seen a lot of taxes, talked to a lot of other business owners. My taxes are so simple as a professional gambler. The casino tells me how much I've won. That's what I owe tax on.
Mm-hmm.
It couldn't be simpler.
How does that work? So were you gambling? Were you putting your gambling money, your bank, in an LLC?
No,
running it through that way?
No, you're actually not supposed to do
company?
that. You're not supposed to do that. It's not even a company. It's just my personal.
It's your personal.
Yeah, it's so simple. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What was your bank? So you and your boy, your business partner, are going in very disciplined now. What was your personal limit? Your bank?
We buy in for $3 million at a time. That was our sweet number. $3 million.
Gotcha.
And we negotiated with the casinos for my $250,000 a hand and $50K double deck, a $3 million buy-in, which was fine because we like buying in for $3 million. And the reason, by the way, not that it matters, but the reason I didn't take the $300,000 a hand is because I'd have to buy in for $5 million. So for an exposure and a liability of an extra $2 million, I only got the possible upside of $50,000. So how'd I do that? I'd save $2 million and a loss of $50,000.
Right.
Makes way more sense.
Okay, so you're going in now as a business. No more around, no more having fun.
Yeah.
Became work.
Yeah.
What was a typical week look like? You worked every day?
No. We also didn't work every week. It came out to a net profit of $1 million a week for a long time, but it wasn't so cut and dry. It was like we would live our lives. We were young guys with too much money living in LA, right? And we just live our lives. We'd say to ourselves, time to go to work. It gradually adjusted, but towards the end of it, we'd sneak ourselves into Vegas in cars we've never been in that aren't registered or rented or owned by us. And we'd go in there and I used to store all these cashier's checks, right? Because they're good. Some of them are good forever. And if they're not good, when you have that kind of relationship with the bank, you just bring the check. Or honestly, I just text my banker, to be honest. But I text my banker. I go, yo, I got this $3 million check. It's 9 months old. Can you renew it? And they go, yeah, no problem. We'll print you a new one, right? So I used to just store these checks. I wasn't even sure. I'm not to this day sure that the banks aren't in communication with the casino to let them know this guy just came in, took a check for $3 million, and we believe he's on the way to you. Because that would give them enough time to set something up for me to lose.
Wow.
So I would keep storage of all these. Usually they're $1, $2, or $3 million checks.
Oh, by the way, is that how a casino, when you make that much money, is that how a casino pays you out? It's not $3 million in cash.
So this is the law because they got in trouble for this not too long ago. They were acting as stand-in banks, which the government didn't want. So what they do now is the law says however you buy in, whatever form, cash, check, or wire, that's how they have to cash you out up to that amount. After that amount, you can make any request you want. Wow. So for me, I would come with a $3 million check. I would say, keep this on hold. What that means is do not deposit it, confirm the funds with the bank, and just keep it in the drawer on the desk, literally. All right. And they'll keep it like 72 hours or something. You can ask them to keep it as long as you want, basically. But they basically just customarily hold it. I think it's like up to 3 days. They call the bank, confirm it's legit, all that, and they put it in the drawer right there at the high limit cage. It's not even like locked up. It's just like there, right? When you gamble, let's say I came in with a $3 million check. When I cash out $6 million, the first $3 million, they take the chips and they hand me back the check. They go, here's your check. Right. Go to your bank and refund it. I don't care what you do with the check. We don't want it anymore. How do you want your other $3 million? My profit side. For me, I take cash. I've done the wire thing. Super weird, super sketchy. There's like no paper trail. Yeah. They're like, all right, you should have it next week. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, what? Am I going to give me a document? They go, what do you want, a receipt? I'm like, yeah, something, you know? Yeah.
For $3 million?
Yeah. So what happens with the wire is you just go to the cage and it's usually just some girl, right? Like who's never touched 3 million in her life type, whatever. It's a girl, works at like a cashier. She takes all the information, puts it in the computer and goes, okay, thank you. Goodbye. Right. You're like, whoa, easy, young lady.
Yeah.
$3 million, And I go, so what's happening now? And she goes, well, I put it in the computer So it's going to go to the financial department. I forget whatever they're called. Whatever they're called.
Accounting?
Yeah, but there's even one before that, bro. It has to go to like 3 departments before it even makes it to the guy that actually hits the send wire
So
button.
it's got to go through all of this bureaucracy.
All of it. And you don't know where your funds in that process are. So you're just praying the money shows up. And then if you take a check, they can also cancel a check and they have a little while to do this. So for me, give me the cash.
Right.
In case you have any discrepancies with how I won the money or you think I'm cheating or whatever it is, that's fine. You want to take me to court? No problem.
Yeah.
Pay me now.
Right.
We can fight it out in court later. By the way, I'm going to use the cash you gave me to pay for the court proceedings.
And that's a Nevada law. They have to pay you out like you just said. They have to give you the money.
Yeah. So they have to give
how
you
want it.
Well, only the profit. They have to give you what you bought in for in the same form you bought it.
And clearly, by now, these casinos are it's in their mandate to cheat. So they're not above screwing you over in like a wire.
Yeah, exactly.
So therefore, you take cash.
The last time I was allowed to play in Vegas with no bar is when I won. It was happened to be my biggest single session win. I won $11,526,000
in
one session.
Playing how many games and which games? This is Baccarat?
Exclusively Baccarat.
How many hands is that?
Well, I'm not sure.
250.
What we did was we
250 divided by 11 million or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is. Plus commission. There's 5% commission on roughly 55% of the hands.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And that's also a rule?
That's a rule, yeah.
Okay.
Well, you could also play commission free. I don't, but there is a commission free option. It actually costs you more money in the long run. It's just another version. Simply put, I play the version where on roughly 55% of my hands, I'm paying 5% back to the house.
Okay, so you got 11 million. You take 11 million in cash?
No. So this was the very last time they let me play with no bar. It's like free for all.
And you won't say what casino this is that you wanted at?
It was 2 casinos.
Tell us. No,
I'll tell you off the air.
Give us the exclusive.
Actually, you know what? I posted the checks before. Okay, so I won $8.5 million from MGM Grand, and the balance, which was like 2.64, something like that, was from Palazzo.
Let's go. I assume you're not let in there anymore.
Definitely not. Not even close. Yeah, I can't even go on the sidewalk. I forgot. If you look, I did post a photo of these checks.
Wow.
So in the checks, if you know what you're looking at, you can see one of them says the Sands, which is the Palazzo and Venetian, and the other says MGM Grand, which is MGM Grand. So if you look at the checks, I did post it.
So you're like a hero of the degenerate gambler community. You like beat Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
11 million. Tell us how you move that. And do you have bodyguards at this point?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's so much to the story. Like we could do a whole pod,
of course,
just on the story. So I'll give you the short version. They had fought me tooth and nail like this whole way, right? So me and my guys are feeling really cornered. We're like, we don't think we're gonna metaphorically make it out alive, right? We weren't actually in fear of our lives. Plus, we faced death like when we were like living recklessly. Like we're not actually fearful of that, right? But metaphorically, we didn't know if we were going to make it out alive. We didn't know if we were going to win, make it out with our money. Like we didn't know if we had an escape plan here. So what we did was we threw a 7-day-long party. And it was one of the most outrageous parties that I or any of the people there had ever seen. We had 1,000 people in attendance at any given time, 24 hours a day for 7 days.
Where at?
In Vegas, in the MGM, in the mansions, in the villa. So I had the villa, it was 10,000 square feet. We had 2 indoor pools. It was the whole top floor of the mansions.
So at the place that you took all that money from, you were also partying at.
Yeah. So, but we did it on purpose. We wanted to serve as a distraction. So many celebrities were there. All the tabloids, all the media outlets. It was a spectacle. And this is just when I started social media. So if you like look back and you do a little digging, you'll uncover all of the like media that ended up coming from this party. So what happened was we had all these like famous people and non-famous people and whatever, just people, right? Doing crazy things, lighting fires, orgies, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And what's happening is in my head, again, I don't know how many people there really are. In my head, they are assigning 10 executives to me at all times when they're alerted I'm on property. I believe there's 10 people upstairs watching me 24 hours a day. So I said, if there's 10 people, probably any one of them is smarter than me one-on-one, and now I have to deal with 10 of them. They'll outsmart me every time. What can I do to lighten the load? How do I fight against less of them? So we threw this party and we gave everybody the tools to make the biggest problems possible. So all they know is there's 1,000 people in Mickey's villa. There's a fire. We need to call the fire department. Who lit the fire? The guy who just won the world championship in UFC. What do we do now? So out of these 10 executives, 5 of them now have to deal with this celebrity who literally just came close to burning down a casino in my party. So now I'm only fighting half the amount of people I'm supposed to fight.
Wow.
And me and my guy would sneak out the back. We'd hit the tables before those 5 can even catch up.
So you're working.
Yeah,
You're working this whole time.
The whole time.
Wow. Okay, I want to take a step back for a second.
Yeah.
How long into you basically started to take gambling seriously?
Mm-hmm.
How long before the casinos turned on you?
In that second year, roughly at month 18. So the relevant part of my gambling career took place over 3 years.
Yeah.
The first year was where I told you we were buying in for 30 to 50 and doubling up, but we didn't care about winning.
Yeah.
It was nice that we were winning, but we didn't care. The second year is where we started to take it serious, where we added a 0 to everything. And the third year is we are, bar none, going to work, and we'll do everything we can to take these casinos down. Roughly at the 18-month mark in the 3 years, which is halfway through our second year, where we're doing the 6 figures, entering 7 figures, that's where it starts to become a problem.
Okay. Tell us about how you noticed them starting to fuck with you.
Well, they started to do things like they took my jet away. And I'm like, what'd you take the jet away for? And they go, well, you're not bringing in enough money. And I go, what? I go, I'm the biggest bettor in the city for the last 6 months. And they go, well, it's not enough. I go, that's suspicious.
So they would send a jet to LA to pick you up and fly you in?
They gave me a jet to go anywhere, do anything. I used to take it to go check my mail. I used to go, one time I threw a party and I just took a party and I had a hat in LA at my crib that I wanted to wear to the party. I just took the jet to LA. When I landed, I told the pilot, I said, don't leave the plane. I'll be right back. My driver was on the tarmac in LA at Van Nuys, drove me straight to my crib. I ran inside, grabbed a hat. Driver took me back to the tarmac, got him, and went to the party. I just used it like it was I used PJs like it was an Uber. They took that away. And I'm like, that's weird. I'm the biggest depositor in the city. There's so many Jeffries casinos. It's a weird thing to take away from me. Then they'd be like, I'd say, hey, I want to go to this villa. They go, can't give it to you. Who are you going to give it to? Somebody else. I go, well, there's nobody more valuable to you in pure numbers than me. Why would you give that premium villa to somebody else? Because that's suspicious. So we started to see this. Then they started to do weird little things like harassment, busting my balls. I had a parking space in the front door of every casino on the strip. So I would just self-park and keep my keys. Started busting my balls with that and cornering me. You could just see.
Yeah, it was like little harassments, little things they were taking away.
Microaggressions.
So why, I got a question, this is a private business. Couldn't they just ban you outright for any reason?
They could, and eventually they did. I believe that they were very torn. I think out of the 10 executives watching, 5 said, he's cheating and a liability, get him out. And the other 5 said, we can't catch him cheating. We haven't figured out any unethical play he does. He's just so lucky. Keep him a little longer. He's got to give it all back. So I think it was this fight. So they go, well, where's the common ground? And they go, what if we just shake the pot a lot? And someone goes, well, how are you going to shake his pot? You know, let's take away everything he likes. Let's start with that. So they took away all the stuff out. And it did shake my pot. It got me pissed off. I was like, you're inconveniencing me a lot now. They go, okay, he's still winning, but what else can we win? And that's when it started getting crazy. They go, jam his wife. Make sure he has no cell service. Now I can't use my cell phone. No cell phones work in any of my villas or my rooms. Now
and they have that capability. That's like the NSA or something. That's like high-level government.
It's actually not that hard.
Technology.
So I had spoke about it years ago in an interview, and all these people said, "No, it's impossible. You can't jam." First of all, I'm not a technician. Let me just be super clear, right? So I don't know all the correct terms. What I know is that if there's 2 rooms that share an adjoining wall, one's in my name, one's in your name. The one in your name, you have flawless cell phone capabilities. As soon as you go 4 feet into my room, your phone is now paper. And I put it to the test. And then I recorded a video doing it. When I recorded this video, it got like, I don't know, like 10 million. I recorded it at night, went to sleep, woke up in the morning, had like 10 million views. That casino knocked on my door and told me to leave. And I recorded that too.
So.
Oh, but what I meant to say is, people had contacted me because they also locked me in an elevator one time, and I posted the video from the elevator, and I'm like, I'm locked in. You know, I was with Odell both an elevator, I don't know, builder, technician, I don't know what, and many people that are, I don't know what the term is, familiar with how they explained it to me that it's like a net, sort of like this light is, right? A net. What they can do is they can shut off certain parts of the net, so you can't get the cell to go through that area.
Right.
So all these people that came forward and said, yeah, I can block that. If I was in the tech room or whatever at the casino, he goes, it's a pretty simple task. I personally can just block it. They go, and same with the elevator guy. So the elevator guy took my elevator video, he stitched it on TikTok with him in an elevator room, pulling the levers to lock somebody in an elevator.
That's believable.
Yeah.
That's totally believable.
Well, not the comments.
Well,
yeah.
At what point now you're posting on Instagram, you're becoming an influencer. At what point do the celebrities come in and start giving you their money to gamble?
Like immediately. Like as soon as I started social media, it immediately went viral.
Who were the first people who approached you?
I think Drake was the very first person. I think Drake had discovered me, and a week later was Lil Baby, and then after that.
And they just DM you?
Yeah.
What does a DM from Drake look like? Can I see it?
No, I don't want to do that because I think that he's very private, and I think that he prefers people not to like use his name for clicks and stuff like that.
Was that wild though? Seeing like, wow,
this is how it started.
I was homeless in Harlem, and now I got Drake in my DMs.
Yeah, it's
want me to gamble his money. Can you say the amounts of money? Can you say?